On 22nd November 1864, Jayanti Bai and Janardhan Pandurang were blessed with a baby girl. They named her Rukma Bai. When Rukma Bai was just 2 years old, she lost her father. After 6 years, her mother Jayanti Bai married Dr. Sakharam Arjun, an eminent physician and social reformer in Bombay. When Rukma Bai turned 11, she was married to 19-year-old Dadaji Bhikaji, who was the cousin of her stepfather. Bhikaji started living in Rukma Bai's house and pursued his education, but he wasn't much interested in the studies. So later on, he moved to his maternal uncle's house and stopped his studies and developed some bad habits. Rukma Bai refused to move with her husband, and her stepfather fully supported her. Rukma Bai started studying books from church missionary library, and she grew up into a rationally thinking young woman, mostly because she was under the influence of Indian and Western social reformers who were regularly visiting her house because they were her stepfather's friends. She was also attending certain women's meetings regularly with her mother. Bhikaji was not someone who would just leave matters like that. He wanted to be reunited with his wife, and so he sent a legal notice to Dr. Sakharam Arjun saying that he should send back his legally wedded wife, Rukma Bai. But Rukma Bai refused to go, and so Dr. Sakharam said, "No, I'm not sending my daughter." Now, what did Bhikaji do? Now, this case came into court and it was called Bhikaji versus Rukma Bai 1885. Thankfully, the judge who was presiding over this case at that time was a very sensible person, and he ruled in favor of Rukma Bai. He said that Rukma Bai was married in her helpless infancy, and so now she cannot be compelled. But do you think Bhikaji would stop at that? Oh no. The following year, he again appealed, and so the case came for a retrial, and there was criticism from various sections of the society, including some prominent freedom fighters of that time. Rukma Bai herself wrote a series of articles in the Times of India under a pseudonym, A Hindu Lady. This sparked public reaction. The debate was about the fact that Rukma Bai's defiance was because of her English education, and apparently Hinduism was in danger. Interestingly, the German scholar Mr. Max Muller supported Rukma Bai, and he wrote that this legal route was not the correct solution for the problem, and that it was her education which made her the best judge of whatever choices she made. On 4th March 1887, one of the judges ruled that Rukma Bai should either go and live with her husband or face imprisonment for 6 months. Rukma Bai declared that she would rather go to jail than obey the verdict. Then there were still several trials and retrials and rulings which were not in favor of Rukma Bai. So Rukma Bai, what did she do? She appealed to Queen Victoria, for justice. In July 1887, Queen Victoria overruled the court and dissolved the marriage. But Bhikaji would not let her live in peace. And so finally, after one full year of negotiations with him, a settlement was reached and Bhikaji agreed to let her go free. After accepting rupees 2,000, that was a big deal those days. The publicity and the criticisms and the debates, those that were generated because of Rukmabai's case, resulted in the enactment of the Age of Consent Act in 1891. And as per this, the age of consent was changed from 10 to 12. Rukmabai was now 24. She was a free woman and she wanted to pursue higher education. She needed money. Thankfully, there were some supporters for her like Dr. Edith Piche, Shivaji Rao Holkar, suffrage activists like Eva McLaren and Walter McLaren. They helped her in raising funds for her higher education. And in 1889, Rukmabai set sail for England. She enrolled for studying medicine at the London School of Medicine for Women, and she also studied at the Royal Free Hospital, and in 1894 she successfully obtained the medical degree of Doctor of Medicine. In the year 1895, when she returned to India, you won't believe this, there were certain Orthodox people who threw stones at her in the street. But Rukmabai was undeterred. She started working as the Chief Medical Officer at the Women's Hospital in Surat. In the year 1918, Dr. Rukmabai got two offers. One, to be a part of the Women's Medical Society or Medical Services, and the other to work in a women's hospital at Rajkot. She took the second offer and started working at the Zanana State Hospital in Rajkot. During this period, she established the Red Cross Society in Rajkot. She worked there till her retirement, which was in 1929. After retirement, she moved to Bombay and settled there. She published a pamphlet titled Parda, the Need for Its Abolition, and argued that the young widows were not being given a chance to actively participate in the Indian society or to contribute. Then on 25th September 1955, Dr. Rukmabai died of lung cancer at the age of 90. In Surat, a hospital has been named in her honor. A movie has been made in Marathi called Dr. Rukmabai, and the details of Rukmabai and her husband's case, the court case, those details have been published as a book titled Enslaved Daughters, Colonialism, Law and Women's Rights. In the year 2017, her 153rd birthday was commemorated as a Google Doodle. Hats off to this courageous woman who fought against the Orthodox society, lived her life on her own terms, managed to go abroad and get a medical degree, served the Indian people as a doctor and gained the respect of the very same society which was against her earlier. Yeah, Dr. Rukmabai. Thank you.